You are watching history slowly unfolding inside Zimbabwe politics. And right now, things are becoming more serious behind closed doors. The relationship between President Emmerson Mnangagwa and Vice President Constantino Chiwenga is no longer looking strong the way it used to after 2017. The tension is now clear, and many powerful people inside the ruling party are quietly choosing sides while the country watches everything carefully. What is making this matter even more interesting is the fact that these two men were once working together very closely. Back in 2017, when former President Robert Mugabe was removed from power, Chiwenga was one of the strongest figures behind that operation. At that time, many people believed Mnangagwa and Chiwenga would continue working together smoothly for many years. But now, the political friendship appears to be cracking badly. And viewers, before we continue this serious gist, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel, because this story is getting hotter every single day, and you do not want to miss any update. Now, here is where the real story begins. Inside ZANU-PF, there is now a very serious battle about the future leadership of Zimbabwe. Some powerful people want Mnangagwa to remain in control longer, while others believe the next line of leadership should naturally go to Chiwenga. This disagreement is now creating tension inside government offices, security circles, and even among war veterans. The interesting part is that both men are very powerful in different ways. Mnangagwa controls the political system and government structures. He understands political survival very well. This is a man who has survived many political battles for decades. He knows how to stay calm even during pressure. But Chiwenga is also a very strong figure because of his military background. Many people still respect him strongly inside military circles because of his role during the 2017 transition. That alone makes this political situation very sensitive. And right now, the political atmosphere inside Zimbabwe feels very uncomfortable. Some powerful individuals inside the ruling party are becoming nervous because they do not know which side will eventually win this internal power struggle. Quiet meetings are happening. Alliances are changing. Friendships are becoming weaker. Everybody is trying to protect their future. That is how politics works when succession battles begin. One thing people are noticing is the recent reshuffling of powerful positions. Some military-linked figures have been moved around, while others have quietly disappeared from the spotlight. That alone has created many questions inside the country. Viewers, this is why many people are now saying Zimbabwe politics is entering another very dangerous phase. And the reason this matter is becoming emotional is because many supporters of Chiwenga feel he sacrificed a lot during the 2017 operation. Some believe he expected to eventually become the main leader in future. So now, when discussions about extending Mnangagwa's influence continue appearing, tensions naturally rise inside the party. At the same time, Mnangagwa supporters believe he still needs more time to continue his policies and maintain stability in the country. They argue that sudden leadership changes can create confusion. So now both camps are becoming stronger. And whenever powerful political camps start competing quietly inside one ruling party, trust begins to disappear slowly. That is exactly what Zimbabwe is witnessing right now. Even ordinary citizens are beginning to notice the tension. When leaders attend public events, people now watch body language carefully. They observe who stands close to who. They watch who speaks first. They even study facial expressions during meetings. That is how serious the political atmosphere has become. And viewers, let me tell you something important. Politics in Zimbabwe is never simple. The biggest battles are usually fought quietly behind closed doors, long before the public fully understands what is happening. By the time ordinary citizens start seeing visible signs, it means the internal disagreements have already become serious. That is why many people are now paying attention to every movement happening inside ZANU-PF. And do not forget to like this video and subscribe, because this gist is becoming very deep and very important. Now, let us talk about another thing: increasing pressure inside the country, the economy. Many Zimbabweans are struggling with the high cost of living. Prices continue changing. Jobs are difficult to find for many young people. Businesses are facing pressure. Families are trying hard to survive. So while political leaders are battling for influence, ordinary citizens are mainly focused on daily survival. And this is where frustration is growing, because many people want leaders to focus more on improving the economy instead of fighting internal political battles. But unfortunately, succession politics inside ruling parties can sometimes become stronger than national development discussions. Now, another important issue is the role of war veterans. In Zimbabwe politics, war veterans are not ordinary political supporters. Their voices carry weight because of liberation history. And recently, some war veterans have openly shown signs of frustration with the current political direction. That alone is a very powerful signal. Because once liberation war figures begin speaking openly, it means internal pressure is becoming difficult to hide. And viewers, this situation is making many people remember the events that happened before Mugabe eventually left power. At that time, the signs also started slowly. First, there were factional fights, then dismissals, then political accusations, then confusion inside the ruling party, then suddenly everything changed very fast. That is why some citizens are now becoming nervous about the future political direction of the country. But one important thing everybody wants is peace and stability. Zimbabweans are tired of political uncertainty. People want businesses to grow, young people want jobs, families want stable incomes, citizens want electricity, healthcare, and better opportunities. Those are the things most people care about daily. But sadly, power struggles often distract leaders from national priorities. Now, viewers, another reason this story is becoming very interesting is because regional leaders across Southern Africa are also watching carefully. Zimbabwe is an important country in the region. Any serious instability inside Zimbabwe can affect neighboring countries economically and politically. So many regional leaders prefer stability and peaceful political transitions. Nobody wants unnecessary tension. At the same time, investors also watch political stability closely. Whenever political uncertainty increases, businesses become more careful. Investors begin waiting before making big decisions. That can affect economic confidence. So this is no longer just an internal political issue. The entire region is paying attention quietly. And viewers, let me ask you this question. Do you think Mnangagwa and Chiwenga can still rebuild trust and work together peacefully? Or do you think the relationship has already become too damaged? Drop your comment below, because this discussion is becoming one of the biggest political conversations in Zimbabwe right now. And if you are enjoying this breakdown, please like this video right now and subscribe, because more serious updates are still coming. Now, another thing making this political story even more complicated is the issue of loyalty. Inside politics, loyalty changes very quickly when people begin thinking about future leadership. Some politicians who appear loyal publicly may secretly support different factions privately. Others stay neutral while waiting to see who becomes stronger politically. That creates suspicion everywhere. And once suspicion enters politics, leaders become more defensive. Meetings become secretive. Phone calls become sensitive. Political movements become calculated carefully. Everybody becomes cautious. That is the current atmosphere many observers are seeing inside Zimbabwe politics today. And what makes this even more sensitive is the military connection. Zimbabwe has a long political history where military influence has played important roles during major national moments. So whenever there are rumors of disagreements involving political leaders and military-linked figures, people naturally become concerned, because nobody wants unnecessary instability. Now, despite all this tension, Mnangagwa still remains firmly in power as president. He continues attending regional meetings, government programs, and international events. Publicly, government operations continue normally. But behind the scenes, many people believe the succession battle is quietly growing stronger every month. And succession battles inside liberation movements are usually very intense, because many powerful figures want control of the future direction of the country. Now imagine this situation carefully. You have politicians trying to protect their positions. You have military-linked figures trying to maintain influence. You have business elites watching developments closely. You have war veterans expressing frustrations. And you have ordinary citizens struggling economically. All these pressures combined together create a very complicated political environment. That is exactly where Zimbabwe finds itself right now. And viewers, this is why political analysts are saying the next few years will be extremely important for Zimbabwe's future. The decisions made now could shape the country's direction for many years ahead. Would there be unity inside the ruling party? Would there be leadership compromise? Will tensions calm down? Or will the divisions continue growing quietly? Those are the questions many citizens are asking daily. Now, one thing you must understand about African politics is this. Former allies can become the strongest rivals later. Why? Because they know each other very well. They understand each other's political networks. They know internal secrets. They know who controls what. That makes political competition even more sensitive. And right now, many people believe the political relationship between Mnangagwa and Chiwenga has entered that uncomfortable stage where trust is no longer fully guaranteed. Still, many Zimbabweans are hoping leaders will handle everything maturely and peacefully, because ordinary citizens do not benefit when political tensions become too extreme. People simply want stability. They want economic progress. They want leadership that focuses on development. That is the biggest wish for many families across the country today. And viewers, as this story continues unfolding, one thing is becoming clear. Zimbabwe politics is entering another major chapter. The signs are already visible. The tension is visible. The silence inside powerful circles is becoming louder. And everybody's watching carefully to see what happens next.